Bam ba dee dam ba dam da 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 Disturbia. That's literally the only lyric I care about, ladies and gentlemen. Rihanna, Disturbia, coming in hot. Listen, it's making the rounds again in my mind. It's become a theme song for my life. Disturbia, I gotta be real with you. Might be the best song there ever was. Disturbia, am I scaring you tonight? It's just a banger. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the episode. Listen, if you're new here, stick around, give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out for you, good luck on your travels. Happy Tales or Trails, okay? I think Happy Tales is like, I saw like a pun, like a play on words of Happy Trails, and it was Happy Tales. Anyway, that's not for you. If you want to help me on your way out, you can leave a like on the video. If you're watching this on YouTube, it helps me out. Subscribe, maybe see what else we got going on here, okay? But ladies and gentlemen, welcome. Welcome to Wednesday, okay? A lot going on in the world. Rihanna having another baby. Rihanna's killing it, all around an icon, okay? I feel like if there's anybody that's a good representation of a culture of, you know, just America and just like a staple in time, because you can't say the early 2000s without saying Rihanna, okay? It was a different era, okay? Listen, I can remember the first place where I was when I first heard Rihanna. It was the music video. The first thing I saw was the Umbrella video, okay? I was on an elliptical machine my freshman year in college at my apartment gym, okay? And I'm just elliptical in it, okay? The weirdest exercise ever. Humans can never make fun of hamsters in a wheel, okay? Because what is an elliptical? It's the dumbest shit ever. I'm not really running in place. It's not like a treadmill, but I'm just kind of sliding around and just going through the motions, okay? You have to be hitting Mach speeds to burn 3 calories on that thing. You have to work out for 7 hours at Mach speed to burn off 1 Snickers bar on the elliptical, okay? I know the thing's telling you calories. Oh, I burned 400 calories in 1 hour. No, you didn't. That's not how life works, okay? The elliptical is a bold-faced lie and a sign of the times with consumerism. And yeah, I'm looking to join a class action lawsuit if it's out there. I remember watching this Umbrella. You can stand under my umbrella, Ella, Ella, eh. You know the song. Captivated by Rihanna, okay? And Disturbia. And then she came out with so many bangers. And I'm not even going to say a Chris Brown joke following that, okay? Because I'm better than that. Barely better than that. The only song, and I loved it, I thought it was a banger, but it just, when you really listen to the lyrics, because that's what I go do. I listen to the lyrics again of songs that I used to love, and I really digest them. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense, okay? This song, and I know that he knows I'm unfaithful, and it kills him inside to know that I am happy with some other guy. I can see him dying. It's just like, oh, what was this niche? Okay, because there was like, well, because when you're that big of an artist, when you're a Rihanna, there are audience, like targeted audience, like you're not just making songs, okay? It's not Rihanna in the studio alone, okay? I heard this thing before that there was something like 30 people that helped write a Rihanna song, which is like flabbergasting. Because like as someone who like creates stuff, I'm like, I couldn't imagine 30 people writing a joke for me. Like that just, it's completely different industry. And it looks weird from the outside in, but if that's really what it is, there's targeted demographics. How many of these chicken head hoes are out here cheating enough to where these studio executives, these A&R guys, these people hot on the street targeting the demographics, how many are there like, yo, these bitches be cheating and let's give them a theme song. Let's give them a little bit of redemption. Were they the untapped market? Maybe that's just what happens when you're so good. You're Rihanna. You get so good. You've hit every single culture. But you know what you haven't hit? The cheating culture. So they're like, let's hit them with a banger for the cheaters. Okay. Listen, you want to know that it's time to leave your girl? When she's at the club, you're at the club, and she goes up to the DJ and she's like, yo, play Unfaithful by Rihanna. And she's just singing that shit a little too fucking hard. Focus on yourself, king. Okay. You got to get out of there. If she's requesting that song, all right, you got to go. But how come it's such a banger? That's the thing with these songs is they're sneaky. They're Trojan horses. Because if you really break down the lyrics, you're like, I don't know if this should be a song. Okay. The other song that used to really, and you know how many diehard Rihanna fans were out there that were not cheaters. But then they take songs too literal, okay? You have the stans of the world of Rihanna fans, and they're out there listening to Rihanna being like, I don't want to do this anymore. Listen, I'm going to get a copyright strike because how close I am sounding to Rihanna. I don't want to be the reason why. Okay, listen, my account's at risk. But how many of them are listening to Rihanna say that and they're like, if I want to be like Riri, rah, rah, I got to cheat on my man, okay? And then it just goes and cheats just so they can feel the song. They really want to know what it's all about. They're bumping Rihanna, all right? And then what happens, because that's the thing, is what happens when you're like just going through Spotify, you know, you're on a road trip with your girl, and she's like, yo, put on some songs. You know, she's driving. You go to her Spotify app. She's like, yeah, go in because it's hooked up. That's how it goes. And you just see Rihanna Unfaithful over, like that's the top played song. You're like, ugh. Red flag. Okay. Anyway, I've been listening to a lot of Rihanna is what I'm trying to get out to people. Listen, Run This Town by Rihanna, Jay-Z, Kanye West. I think that's everybody who's in that song. Phenomenal song. All of the Lights. Rihanna just has that voice. Okay. Rihanna's just that girl, okay? She eats, as the kids would say. She ate, all right? She's the one, okay? She's the main character, okay? And I think Disturbia, I don't know if that came out with that movie, Disturbia. I don't know, but that was also a moment in history, a moment in culture when like Shia LaBeouf was still kind of innocent in the public eye, where he was just running around in movies going, no, 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 no. Remember that when he went through a phase of just saying, no, 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 no. Throughout all his movies, it would just transfer over to every movie. No, 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 no. Running through Transformers. No, 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 no. His neighbor's a creep in Disturbia. It was just the thing. And then in real life, people around Shia LaBeouf were like, no, 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 no. You know, he kind of went a little too far out there. But again, brilliant actor. If there's anybody who's the real deal, Shia LaBeouf, when it comes to acting and like, dude can act his dick off. All right. The movie Fury, kind of every movie that Shia LaBeouf has been in, you know, acting wise, it's going to be a banger. Okay. Shia LaBeouf is just that guy. He ate, as the kids say. Okay. All the way back from Even Stevens. Okay. And sometimes I get on these weird YouTube kicks where I get into a rabbit hole. All right. Of just stuff that I got no business watching. Right now, your boy's watching a lot of YouTube fishing videos. Listen, if you follow me on the gram, you know your boy is back on them lakes, them rivers, them ponds. It don't matter. If there's fish in your bathtub, your boy is coming and hooking a line. But hide your kids, hide your mama, hide everyone, because I'm out here taking fish down. Okay? You forget to lock the door at the pet store, the aquarium. I'm coming in there and swooping a couple of goldfish. All right? Go down to the SeaWorld in San Antonio. You leave the cages unlocked, and I'm hooking a seal. I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit, okay? I guess that's a bad idea to get a seal because you pull that thing on land, you're still in trouble. It's like, no, I can do this here too. And then you're basically just fighting a rubber dog, okay? Just the dog of the ocean coming at you. One bite, and you're getting some disease from those things, all right? They do not have clean teeth. I remember when I was a beach lifeguard, one of the things that we would have to do was sometimes you show up in the morning. Usually you get there 9, 8, depending on the day. Tower opens at 10 usually, if I'm remembering correctly. And one of the things is if you were this was your beach from this point to this point, and from this jetty to this jetty, you kind of covered it. And sometimes you'd get there in the morning, and in the night, a seal would float up. Maybe it died somehow, whether it was disease, starvation, it got fucked up by a shark, which would happen. You would see like a half-munched seal just float up the sea, just on the shore. But your job as the lifeguard is you would have to bury it. Okay. And sometimes they would come with a little gator, which is like a vehicle. You'd load it up and you'd go bury it somewhere, or you would dig a hole right there where it lay, and you would have to dig at a certain depth. It was like 4 feet wide by 4 feet deep, and you'd have to bury this seal in it. Okay. And I remember one time I'm burying this seal, and in the morning, people are starting to show up to the beach, and I'm burying it, and I'm just trying to get this hole dug before people really start showing up. And this family is walking up. And sometimes I use it as an opportunity for education. I used to love giving speeches when I was a lifeguard, because they would sometimes bring these classes, and I would love just telling the kids about the ocean, about safety. I'd throw some giggles in there. I was killing. I was doing stand-up before I even realized I was doing stand-up. And I would talk to these people. Yeah, this is a blah, blah, blah seal. This is what happens and all this. And then this is what we do. You guys going into water today? We'll look out for rip currents. This is what you're looking for, blah, blah, blah. And then I'm burying this thing. This family's just kind of hanging out. And then I look over, and this kid is touching the dead seal. He's poking it, he's pushing it, and getting close to open wounds. And I react very fast. I go, whoa, do not touch that. That thing has a lot of diseases, and you can get sick and infections. And immediately the dad, he claps back at me. He goes, well, he ain't ever seen a seal before. And I'm like, in my head, I go, what's that? Oh, okay, then yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't know it was your first time seeing a seal. Go ahead and get ocean tuberculosis from this thing. Go ahead and start the next zombie apocalypse, aquatic zombie apocalypse, because you've never seen one before. What world would we be living in if standards of proceeding were based on if you've ever seen that thing before? I go see Rihanna in person. I'm allowed to just grab her and touch her and be like, hey, I never seen Rihanna before. And her security's like, oh, okay. How quickly after that would Rihanna be like, I don't want to do this anymore? Call back. But yeah, the dad told me that. He goes, and then he said something like, we're from Arkansas. We never seen a seal before. Like it was some state where I was like, okay, I had a heavy accent, and he just was not having it. And I was like, well, they carry a lot of diseases. Sometimes when I would want to be a dick, and I would it's almost like per my last email, when people want to basically cite a bibliography of clapping back at someone, I'll be like I mentioned just a few minutes ago, these carry a lot of diseases, and the guy was upset with me because I wouldn't let his kid touch a seal. He was just like, how could you not let him? Because I know that kid doesn't wash his hands before eating. Okay. But let me tell you something else about that kid. He probably immune to COVID. Okay. That kid probably just any apocalypse, because those are the ones that survive, are the ones that are introduced to weird seal diseases when they're little. They build up the antibodies, and they're going to be the ones that survive a nuclear blast. All right. Because they just have it in them. Okay. They're just built different. But I'm going to pull us out of this rabbit hole, because we weren't supposed to be talking about this. I was talking about my weird YouTube algorithm that sometimes I get caught in these rabbit holes. And one was connected to Shia LaBeouf. And I was just watching a video of his older sister on the show. She's now doing YouTube videos where she's walking on trails and just talking to the camera. Actually a very normal person. Okay. And kind of got out of Hollywood, went to college, which is pretty accurate with her character. And while Even Stevens, he went on to go into Hollywood, which kind of matches up with his character. But it was interesting. She also apparently lost all her money, which was kind of crazy. She just didn't invest it wisely, and it kind of, she bought a house and it kind of dried up. It makes me think about that kind of stuff. Like, I remember, like, I don't know, like, what you want to do, because life is weird. And you look at celebrity kids and you're like, this isn't good. Like, I understand the need for child actors. It'd be weird if, like, we would just be having old people play kids in movies because we were just so worried about their mental health. But it doesn't seem like a lot of kids just make it through unscathed as child actors. It seems like more times than not, when someone makes it through as a child actor, we're like surprised. Like, when you hear about them and you see them later on in their life, you're like, oh shit, good for you. Like, you're normal. But it's got to be such a wild thing to grow up with all that attention and then just like try to go live a normal life. There's something, I don't know. I think with early on, so like I started first like putting out music. I want to say I was like 18 or 19, and I had a couple really good opportunities that didn't work out because of like just weird stuff that happened in my life and like bad relationships and shit like that. And I think about it that at 18 or 19 years old, if I had just had immediate success and I would have became a monster with entertainment. Like, I was actually thinking about this randomly this morning. I'm very happy that I've got to be like kind of the way my life has gone, because I've gotten to adjust and work on some shit that I would have never worked on if I never had to. Like, there's always like, I think the ultimate goal is just personal growth. I feel like that should be it with everything, with everyone, because it takes away the weirdness of competing with other people and like trying to, in the FOMO, and like trying to, you think you want one thing only because of a bunch of other people want it. Like, I think about that a lot because with stand-up and everything, there's weird things that happen in a stand-up scene, in a culture. And it's like, it's interesting because some people, they get very like angry when they don't get things and other people get things, and they want to like spew out poison and just talk shit and all these things. And it's just like, I don't know about any of that. I don't like it. I'm kind of bypassing that all by just focusing on what I want to do, and just, I would have never understood that if I wasn't forced to try to be successful at this point in my life. If things would have came too early, I would have looked at things in a different light, because I would have been more protective. I also wouldn't have had the foundation to handle anything. Like, that's the other beautiful thing about life, is I think like I got lucky. And it's weird to say that. Like, I don't consider myself successful in comedy in the sense of like, not yet. Like, I'm not 100% reliant just on that. Like, I'm still your boy's still in the thick of it. I'm still on the come up. Okay. In other avenues of my life, I feel like I'm having success, and a big one that I think matters the most is my own personal life, is trying to have good relationships, be good to family, like fix all that stuff, have a good relationship, which isn't always easy. Like, that's the other thing, is like, I've disconnected from social media a little bit because just from like consuming it, because it can make you, you start thinking that's reality, and it's like, it's not. And then it's so easy to just come across like your life is perfect, to just try to just like, of course you want to make everything seem like it's good, but it's not all the time. Like, no one's life is good all the time. And I think we almost do a disservice, because it's like we're all trying to cover up this insecurity of our own life by comparison with other people. So we play this game of filling our own insecurity by posting a certain way to come off like, hey, I'm like you guys too. I'm successful. I'm happy. I'm doing this. Look how cool my life is. But then the reality is you're just spreading more of that to other people, because it's like, you're not even coming across genuine, and you're not coming across like in reality. So you're just like keeping that weird, unrealistic reality of social media going. which is strange. But it's something that I've like doing my best. It's always like a process of trying to, I don't know, not engage in that, not engage in like FOMO, bitterness, jealousy, anything like that. And I've like switched it up because especially like early on in comedy, when you see people like get things and you think like you deserve things, like I thought I deserved things when I was starting in comedy. You just think you're better than you really are. But it's like, I can see like, that's one thing that maybe it's being the youngest in my family, but my dad would always tell me that. He's like, you're gifted. Very wise, my puppy. Listen, it's not a weird thing to say puppy. If you're Puerto Rican, you actually have a puppy. Okay. Anyway, it feels weird coming out of my mouth now, so I'm just going to stop. But he would tell me, you're the youngest. Your gift and your skill that you got to develop is being observational. You have to be able to observe and see the mistakes that other people make. And it's your opportunity to not make those same mistakes. He's like, you're going to have an opportunity to learn without suffering the consequences. Bars. Okay. That is bars. And I really took that to heart. And I always, like, I think naturally was observant. Like usually in new groups and around people I don't really know, I'm more observant. I'm not really the person just yelling and doing dumb shit. I kind of like to observe. So like I saw that with like anything creative, that it's easy to give like a fake, expectation of reality until like not be in reality. And it's just a very unhealthy way to live where you're caring what anybody else is doing, what anybody else is getting. You think there's like a limited amount of success and like, oh, they want to have this and they do this and blah, blah, blah. And I've heard people say so much shit about successful comedians that I know and know of. And I'm like, that's not really, whether you're right or wrong in this specific thing, it's not doing you any favors talking like this. And you're not helping yourself by having that kind of view. But I really just started looking at it as just try to be the best version of yourself. Sounds very cliche because you hear people say shit like that, where it's just like, you just compete with yourself and don't worry about what anybody else is doing. But that's literally like the secret to happiness, because then you have no FOMO of like, oh, I should be here, I should be doing that. But it's like, if you just focus on yourself and you're like, how do I really do the best that I can in what I want to do? You're going to go so much further. And that's what I've been realizing with like content and stand up and joke writing and everything like that, is I stopped caring about, I want to get what everybody else is getting because that just seems like what I want. You just kind of start getting like a herd mentality of like, this seems like the way to do it because everybody else wants this, so I should want this, even though you don't want that. Like, you remember when you were younger, you're in high school or something, and like everybody's like, oh my God, she's so hot, the popular kid, like whatever. And it was just like, you would be in a trance of like, everybody thinks that this girl is hot or this guy is hot, equal opportunist. And you would just were attracted to it because everybody else was. There was social value and proof with it. You see it now all the time with movies, TV shows, politics, just anything. You start seeing people who are keeping up with the Jonesies. They're just buying this shit. They're buying shit to impress people they don't even care about. It's like the weirdest shit. And I think people do that with life too. And I'm guilty of doing it too, because I was like chasing things for a while that I thought I wanted based on what other people found value in. So I kind of changed a lot, and I started like doing, I'll be honest with y'all, your boy has been fishing more than I ever have these last couple weeks. I've been all over the gram showing you these lunkers I've been catching. In reality, I'm catching baby bass and crappie and bluegill and just panfish. But your boy's getting better, 1% every day. And I realized that it's given so much more energy to stand up. Like there's times I'll be out fishing and then I just got to go hit a show. Like I'll be like, got to race home, got to change real quick, shower, go over my set and go to a show. And it's like, I'm energized at the show. I'm loose. I'm having fun. Because I'm spending my time doing things I enjoy. Like I'm being a complete person. I'm experiencing life. I'm getting my work done and I'm having fun and fulfillment. And I'm doing all these things. And I've noticed that like, it's just getting better. Which is something that might not seem like crazy to anybody else. But like the truth is, if you don't know, I run a video production business / marketing agency, I guess I would say. It's really not that. It sounds way more bigger than it is, say, marketing agency. It just means that I work with clients and I do all their content and stuff like that. And it's my own business. I don't work for an agency. So I can spend all my time working with the company. I can. Where all I'm doing is I'm waking up, I'm working all day, I'm writing, and then I'm going to do stand-up and I wash, rinse, repeat because I'm like, I just have to be diligent. I have to do this and I have to do that. And I just got to get all this shit done. And any free time, I got to be working with it. And I noticed like I started getting burnt out. Like I wasn't getting any release. And there was a weird point where on stage, I was getting like tongue-tied. Like I was hitting such a burnt out feeling where I started fucking up timing and words and getting like tongue tied, like just like small little like glitches in the matrix. And I really think what it was is I was run down, overworked, overstressed, and just not getting a lot of fulfillment. There wasn't a lot of the relaxed time. Like, yeah, on the weekend or something, I would try to like watch a movie and chill and like hang out or kill kids on Call of Duty, not real. Anyway, flag the podcast. But I noticed when I started doing things that were just for the pure sake of enjoyment and fulfillment, all those things got better. I got more energy, more efficient with working. Stand-up got better. I've gotten more excited about writing. So it's actually been a really good thing by just like starting to do things I enjoy. And it also puts in perspective when you have a meter for enjoyment and like what you're actually enjoying, you start eliminating, why am I doing this bullshit that I don't enjoy? And it's like I've created more time and energy for myself by eliminating this bullshit I don't want to deal with. Even if that means cutting out, some things that you could look at as resources. Life is... Listen, let's get the fuck off this Anthony Robbins high horse that I've found myself on. That's how Anthony Robbins talks. But like, we'll finish on this. Like life is really too short to work a job, to be doing shit that you don't enjoy. Like I always cared so much about what people thought growing up and, people's judgment and this and this. And I never wanted to give people, ammunition against me because I cared, I guess, for their opinion and everything. So I always did things a certain way so that they can never say anything. But then I like found out that no matter what, those people who are going to talk shit and have opinions on your life, they're always going to have opinions, whether you're doing what they think is good or you're doing what is good for your life. So I'd rather not suffer and deal with people who just are draining and exhausting and toxic. And that can be in the form of bosses, family, friends, just people that are in your vicinity that you have to deal with. It's a huge thing. Like I've had, even recently, I've had people tell me like, oh, we should work with this person. I'm like, I don't know, who is this person? Well, they're annoying and they're like kind of toxic and things you'd hate, but there's some benefits there. And I'm like, no. There's no way in fuck I'm working with someone just because there might be a benefit, but I'm going to hate the entire process. Like, what the fuck? There's going to be no longevity in that, and you're going to get burnt out and exhausted. And it's like you're trading one thing for another. So follow your hearts, kid. Okay, let's see. We got really into that. What do we want to talk about? Let's talk about it. Pedro Pascal, okay, The Mandalorian, The Last of Us. Listen, if you haven't been watching The Mandalorian and The Last of Us, listen, two birds with one stone, they're almost the same exact show, all right? They're really not, but they kind of are. There's some weird similarities. Pedro Pascal in both shows was hired to basically get this child and protect it and then like deliver it. But then when it was time to deliver it, didn't deliver it, fell in love with it, and is now a sidekick. Same exact plot, okay? Just one has aliens in it. The other has zombies, okay? But the Last of Us season 1 finale was last night. I'll try not to give any spoilers away, but there's something that I've been seeing that has been, I have a bone to pick with it, okay? The Last of Us versus The Walking Dead, okay? Now, take a look at your boy. I'm a deadhead, okay? I don't know what that means, but I'm just telling you I like The Walking Dead, okay? That's what it's a picture I'm painting, all right? Phenomenal show, okay? I get that it dragged out, and listen, I've been in the thick of it with rewatching it. I'm on season 7 or 8 now. I usually watch it when I'm falling asleep at night. I'll watch like a half hour, an hour. I've been watching it for a while now. And it was because I started watching The Last of Us, and it got me back kind of in the zombie world. And it was like watching The Last of Us, I was like, oh, this is a brand new take on zombies. It's amazing. I love it. The whole cordyceps, it's a completely different kind of zombie than The Walking Dead. Maybe it's better. And as time has passed, I got to be honest with you, it's way too early to compare these two. And I don't even know if it's fair to compare The Walking Dead to The Last of Us. They're completely different shows that came in at completely different times. Ensemble cast versus basically two leading people. I got to be real with you. The longevity of The Walking Dead, and some people, they checked out when Negan came in. Okay, when Glenn was killed in The Walking Dead, spoiler alert, a lot of people checked out. But I got to be real with you. The Negan arc might be the best part of the whole show. I know that's controversial, okay, because the reason why it is so good and might be the arc, the stakes were so real. Something was actually taken from the group. Something so real was taken from the group, and the stakes were real, and the audience actually lost something. The only problem is a lot of people, when they lost that, they gave up. They said, Glenn's gone. I can't deal with this trauma. But over the next 2 to 3 seasons, I think it is, with the Negan arc versus the Saviors and all of that, you see them pushed into a corner, and it's like the most beautiful development of all these characters. You get to see like they needed that. It's almost like you got to go through that hardship just to blossom. We gave them real stakes. I thought that was amazing. Okay. Because up until that, you basically were like, let's see, like every season was almost like, here's our entire group. Let's see how they deal with this obstacle. Okay, now here's a new one. They're at the prison or they're at the farm. Let's see how they deal with this. Okay, now they're kind of moving around in the season. Let's see how they deal with that. Now they have a prison. Let's see how they deal with that. Now they have this. Let's see how they, like, it was kind of just always them changing, and the group never really suffering these crazy losses to where it was like, oh my God. And then the Negan came and he snapped them out of it. Okay. And what a character. Negan. I liked him from the beginning. Even though I knew he was the worst villain, I was like, you can't help but like him. Okay. When they make a villain a good guy kind of at the same time, give him bits, you make him human. Amazing. I haven't even got to this part in the series yet, but when they have a flashback of Negan before taking care of his wife, amazing. But go back and watch The Walking Dead through new eyes as a spectator of that series, and you're gonna be like, this might be the greatest series of all time. Okay. Been watching Sopranos as well. Phenomenal. Sopranos is up there, one of the top shows. And this is why I say we can't judge The Last of Us yet. Okay. As a freshman, okay. Freshman show, its first season. It's been great. The episode with Ron Swanson, might be a standalone great episode, top 10 episodes of all time TV. Okay. That Last of Us episode with Ron Swanson in it was such a great, because there wasn't really much drama with the zombies. There hasn't been much drama with the zombies throughout this entire series. They basically sprinkle it in just to let you know there's still zombies in the world. We're basically almost dealing with a Mad Max style world in The Last of Us. Okay. But that Ron Swanson episode where, and I'm saying Ron Swanson because I don't know the character, his name in the show. That's Ron Swanson when I look at him. Okay. And I like to think in my head, that's actually him in the apocalypse. Okay. He comes out of the closet and he plays tummy sticks with another man after playing the piano for him. Okay. If you haven't seen the series in the episode I'm talking about, you should go watch it. It's a great episode. Basically, one man who hunkered down during the apocalypse is just surviving. He catches a man in his hole, foreshadowing, in the backyard. He invites him in, he cleans him up, literally, and then they fall in love. And then what proceeds to happen is the most beautiful romance of all time, adorable. These two men just being men in love. It's what I envision me and my husband would do. If you don't know who my husband is, my best friend Matt. He used to be my boyfriend, but since I got married to my wife, I upgraded him to my husband. So it's real. Okay. But that's what I would just envision our life would be. We'd just be fucking boys. Nah, that was a bad way to say that. We would just be boys together. Like we're just hanging out. We're just doing our thing. But every now and then we just play tummy sticks. Okay. It was an amazing episode and I won't spoil it for you. Peak drama. Okay. And that's what I give kudos to The Last of Us writers is the drama that they're creating, the story, the dialogue, the emotions, the character development, the contrast from the beginning of the season to the end to these twists. It really is so well written. Okay. The Last of Us is one of the best written shows in a while, I think. And what makes it crazier is it's based off of a video game. So it's nuts that they did that. But here's the thing. Finale happened last night. Or, well, it's Monday right now. That's how the sausage is made. This episode's coming out Wednesday. So on Sunday was the finale of season 1. I don't know where they go from here. And if you want to, you can't judge a series off of one season. We got to see where this series goes in 3 or 4 seasons. What are we going to do with it? I'm even interested to see what they're going to do in season 2. And here's the thing. They're going to do a 5-year jump, allegedly, is what they're saying with the character. Whenever you do a time jump, you run a risk of people losing the connection to the show. Okay, we're all tethered in and anchored unto this moment. This time jump might ruin everything. It's going to change a lot. And that honestly is where I think The Walking Dead fell off. All right. If you don't know, there's this part in the season where Rick, the bridge blows up. Rick's gone. We don't know what happened to Rick. Like a helicopter came and got him. All of a sudden we get a crazy time jump. Not only do we get a crazy time jump, we get a whole new list of characters and we get Rick is gone. The main character in this TV show is gone. That's what's been amazing about The Walking Dead is Rick Grimes. He is the star of the show over and over again. I don't care what people say about Daryl. Daryl is amazing because he doesn't have the weight of being the leading character. That's what makes him so good. If Rick is the salt, then Daryl's just a little bit of pepper in there, okay? I wish they messed up when they killed Carl because Rick basically lost his most important reason why he was living, okay? You know, his daughter isn't necessarily his daughter. That's Shane's daughter, allegedly. He knows it. Little ass kisser or kicker is her name. I forget her actual real name. Listen, it's been a long day. But we lost kind of the whole reason that Rick was doing all of this, at least on a personal level. And that's who we were attached to. And then throughout the series, they just started taking out all these main staples. Okay. I kind of wish they kept Glenn, but they had to make it real and kind of following the comic books. But we also lost these characters from the comic books that were supposed to be there to the end. Spoiler alert, if you didn't know, Carl, who dies in the TV show, he lives in the comic book series, and he's like the main reason the world is saved. So he's a huge part of it going forward. So I think that when that happened and Rick went away, everybody kind of lost the point. Now we're just observing the Walking Dead world, and you're aimlessly kind of watching it. Like that's what I did. I didn't have a big enough, development to these characters, which I think can be a good thing for The Last of Us, because we have two main characters and we've developed a crazy bond of them together and each character on their own. So I think as long as we maintain that, we're going to be kosher, baby. Okay. Twinkle, twinkle. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you for listening to this episode. Listen, it does help the episode a lot. If you like it on YouTube, if you comment, subscribe to YouTube. I know I keep saying it. We're going to be putting more videos out. I have been starting to go live a little bit on my OnlyFans, Giggity. You can check that out. And yeah, that's it, ladies and gentlemen. Subscribe, leave a review on iTunes. It really helps. And I will see you next week. I believe we're going to have a guest. Remember, no matter what, I still love you.